Hi everyone, welcome to the third check-in. Yes, there will be one more on Wednesday, but today is January the 12th and I'm just checking in with everyone for our reset and cleanse. So first things first, is that if you're still here, good for you. You made it through week one, good for you. Pat yourself on the back, you did it. And even if you just started, maybe you got your stuff midweek, maybe you just heard about it and you're still waiting for your package, wherever you're at, we're glad that you're here. And the other thing I just wanted to review from our first check-in, which was last week, is that I heard a lot of you say that you had said yes to this reset and cleanse because you were feeling yucky, you wanted to feel better, there was pain, there was energy was brought up, inflammation was brought up, weight was brought up, and even wanting to learn more and be accountable to a group was brought up. So thank you for, sharing and being honest about why you said yes to join this group and do this together with us as a community. Good for you for being honest and also taking a look at why you did this, And so first I wanted to talk to you and, check in and how was your food this week? How were the choices that you made with your food and your water? So, yes, part of joining our group was using your herbs, but number one, we always love to point people to their food and their water because those are paramount to your health. And every few hours, most people have to make a decision, and that decision needs to be a good one so that it will continue to help you in your health. And then same with the water. Water is just as important to your nutrition and just nourishing your body. So wherever you're at with your food, however you did this week, continue to be mindful, continue to be thoughtful, and thank you so much to Kayla Bigby for all of those wonderful educational food posts. How was that for everyone? Wasn't that so neat to kind of have a different focus every day and learn why each one was so important? Thank you so much to Kayla. And so the next thing was that I wanted to ask everyone was, how was your herbs? How was it adding in this dense, wonderful nutrition to your weekly routine, your daily routine, or however you used your herbs? How was that for you? And the other thing is, just like food, it's that choice to make it part of your routine. It's a choice to decide, okay, I need to make space in my time to wake up and have my first, serving of my herbs first thing in the morning, or maybe it was before your lunch or with your lunch, or different things like that, that you had to make a choice to make time for it, or you had to make a choice to plan for the next day if you knew you were going to be gone all day. Grab your packets, pre-measure your protein, whatever it was. Every one of us have chosen to use a different reset plan to go along with the results that we wanted. And so wherever you were this week and how you did, I want everyone to, number one, don't beat yourself up if the week got away from you, or maybe there was one day that didn't go as planned. Don't beat yourself up. You have more time. Don't worry. And I want you to consider what worked. Take some time and really think about what went well last week. Or if you're just watching this and you haven't started yet, or you're looking forward to starting, you're still waiting for your herbs, whatever, I want you to do the same thing. And you've probably tried things in the past. You've tried to do things with your diet. And I want you to do the same. Consider what works. What is the most helpful for you to be successful? That's what I want you to focus on. And then for those of us who did start last Monday, or Monday, the 6th, I want you to assess what didn't work. And why is that? Don't beat yourself up, but I want you to think about what got in the way of you making the best choice for your food, your water, and using your herbs to get in your dense nutrition. Don't 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 blame it on anything or anybody, but just figure out what led up to that and try to avoid it in your next week. And I think you'll realize that maybe there's just like a tiny bit of planning or something you could do differently to help you next week to avoid that situation. So, and also, I just want each of you to continue. You've only been doing this for 1 week. Maybe you are a veteran. You've done this before with using your herbs and doing a cleanse. You've done this before. You know what to expect. But maybe your December was even more difficult than the first time you did a cleanse. Maybe a lot more happened a few months back, and so you have a lot more work to do now. So either way, wherever you're at, you've never done a cleanse, you've done a cleanse before, trust the process. And now to talk about week 2, because we said we would do this together for 2 weeks. The first thing, food and water, we're going to talk about that. So most of you know that we have already made a week plan of what to focus on each day. And I want you all to repeat that same thing. Let's not reinvent the wheel here. Let's not try anything new, but just continue what we did in week 1 with week 2 with your food. Refer to the post that says Healthy Reset or 2020 Healthy Reset, and it was by Caleb Bigby is on the post. So you can do a search for that and check out what the schedule looks like. And then every day that she did one, you can refer back to Monday and so on for each day of the week. So something that I wanted to share with you was a tiny bit of my story and tell you that week 2 we want to focus on mental health, but I'll share with you my story so that makes sense on why I think we all should think about mental health and resetting our mindset and resetting just some thoughts that we have towards our food and nutrition, and just let's try to cleanse some of those and get rid of those. So I had a health crisis, if you will, and it doesn't have a particular beginning point, but it was very progressive and very noticeable. And I think when everything really came out, it was a physical thing that I was dealing with that brought about, okay, I needed to address it, and going to the doctor wasn't making any improvement. So I had reached out to Lisa, a friend of mine, Lisa Tucker, and she had shared with me about these herbs. And while I was only addressing and only concerned about my physical health crisis that I was going through, I had no idea what soul was really going to do for me. And, yes, physically, within like 3 days, I was having some huge relief. More like 1 month later, and then 3 months later, a lot of the digestive issues that I used to go through from like childhood, everything from constipation to always getting heartburn or indigestion really easily. So from like this from my belly button up to here, it was always discomfort. And then to just feeling like puffy and bloated and all of that. The thing that I really didn't know was going to have such an effect on me was the adaptogens and what they were doing for my mental health. That is so cool that you guys, if you don't know what you have said yes to, yes, you said yes to some things that you wanted to address. And if you think about it, a lot of you are talking about these things that affect you physically, right? And the benefits that you're getting mentally from your herbs are, you just don't You just don't know until you've been using them consistently for 30 days, 90 days, 6 months. That's when you really get far enough away from where you were that you start to really notice a difference. And things that I used to deal with before Soul was I had very low self-esteem, very low self-confidence, and I know a lot of things had a lot to do with my health and health situation. So it was, I don't know if it's a thing, but it's kind of like this situational disappointment, like, why do I always feel like this? And also, having that low self-esteem and that low confidence, it really affected the way that I would respond to stress. And I work from home, and I have since 2013, so was that 6, it'll be almost 7 years. And prior to that, I worked a full-time job and I commuted, and so I've always had like these stressful situations. And you can't make stress go away, but you definitely can do things that help you deal with your stress, right? So using Soul helped me deal with my stress, in that everything started to balance out. And if you know anything about gut health, so much of our mental health begins in the gut. Same with everything else, like literally so many other things are linked to the health of your gut. And while balancing my gut health and balancing out my blood sugar and some other things that were way out of balance, I really started to feel like, okay, I can deal with this, I can manage this, I can respond to this in a responsible way. And I love, one time I heard someone break down the word responsible. It was like you're able to responsible. It's ABLE is in the word. And I was like, that is so cool to think about, that I was able to respond to a number of things, and even be able to respond to things that might take me down in my confidence, or take me down in my esteem, or take me down in disappointment, where I was able to assess it, speak truth into it, and just deal with it. Like, whether it was truth or not, I could think about it and not just react and take it personal or feel down again or whatever. So, and obviously you can see that being disappointed too can also bring on depression and just feel down about the situation I was in. I always felt like, why do I feel like I'm out of control? Why do I feel like I can't even respond to certain things without, being sensible? So that has been so just a blessing, because I feel like I have gone from being a prisoner to my emotions to being free to be me, creative, thoughtful, outgoing, ambitious. I am free to go out and try things without being afraid, without being scared, without feeling that I might not do well or afraid of what other people think. And I know maybe that sounds strange to think that my herbs are doing that, but when you feel more even and more comfortable and not so anxious and not depressed, you can start to just adjust and move ahead and almost stay ahead of those things when they come up, and they don't hurt as much, if that makes sense. That's how I feel. That's what's happened with me. And one thing that was really encouraging too is, while I was so sick, I couldn't eat any fruit. It was 1 year before I was able to tolerate fruit. I had a candida overgrowth, and it was so out of balance that it was causing severe pain in my mouth that I couldn't even tolerate it. And I knew when something had white sugar in it. I still am fairly sensitive, but now I can eat a piece of fruit without being afraid of it hurting my mouth. And that took over a year. So I share this with you to get you thinking ahead for week 2. and start to think about those things that may be affecting your mental health. And each day I'll make a post, and I want you to pick something new that we're going to focus on that relate to your mental health. And know that your herbs are supporting you with your mental health. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. It is, you cannot separate the two. Just think about when you get a cold. You just get a little simple cold, and what do you feel like? You kind of feel down. You might feel a little unmotivated. You just want to lay there. You having some kind of imbalance or something's out of whack, it affects how you mentally think about what you want to do. And so just remember that your herbs are doing more than just cleansing you. They are helping you deal with stress. And everyone knows that we all have our fair share. And some is big for a lot, and some is bigger for others. And doesn't matter where you're at. I want you to just really be thoughtful of where you are mentally, and think about where you want to be at the end of this. What do you want to cleanse? What do you want to get rid of when it comes to your mental health? So stay tuned. I will be posting on Monday through Saturday on some things that we can focus on together that relate to your mental health. And I really appreciate that all of you are here, and keep doing what you're doing. Reach out to your mentor when you need help or you have a question, and let's reset and get ready to have a wonderful 2020, and let's cleanse some stuff.